Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have made it week 13. Guess what? You missed 4 games. If you're just showing up and this is your first time setting your lineup, you will be in trouble because we have missed 4 games, which is 8 teams. I am sorry that you are in this position, but hopefully I can help. So, with that in mind, let's get your questions answered. And as always, have a good week. Here we go. Skylar, what's up? How's it going? We are back. Let's wait. Let's see. Bucky, Jones, Tracy. Oh my gosh, that's rough. Okay, because I have some time, there's not a whole lot of people here yet. I'm going to break this down for you. So Irving is going to be on a snap count, which we don't love. Jones has a rookie quarterback, which is kind of a benefit for PPR. I'm staying away from Tracy with Dart back. They haven't had the same connection, and Singletary's been the one who's actually been the beneficiary. Getting the goal line and those kind of stands has been more of the Singletary role. And I like the idea of Neal, but he is only going to be used in pass-catching situations. He only saw, I think, 6 carries, and Hill actually ended up being the benefit factor from the rushing game. And I expect him to see a handful of carries, but how successful that's going to be is not something you're looking for. So of these, I'm probably going to go Jones and PPR. If you're looking for more potential upside, what's PPR? If you're looking for upside, I mean, maybe Bucky, but the limited snaps really has me nervous for that game. So, all right, C Plank, Scary Terry, Trey Tucker, QJ, Mechie. It's going to be Mechie and Sutton. Tucker is fine, but that's like the one thing the Chargers are going to have to look at. The cornerback matchup isn't great for Tucker. And then Bowers should have success. Genty should also be the one who's really hurting the Chargers as well. I just expect the Chargers to really hold them in check. So it's going to be Mechie and Sutton for me. Skylar, oh my gosh. Skylar, I really don't like this for you, unfortunately. That makes this game a lot more difficult. Unfortunately, I'm probably still going to go Olave because he sees the targets. However, depending on how good it's going to be, that's going to be the hard situation to deal with. So, much rather go with Olave because we kind of know his role. The worry is that is a back injury. Makes me so nervous. And same thing with Irving. He's coming back from an injury, which you also don't like to see. So, makes it something you're not wanting to deal with at all. All right, Rock. Alec Pierce, Pam Knight. I don't like any of these either. Pierce would be my go-to because that team normally is rolling. However, this is a tough matchup with some wind. I don't like that. Knight is fine, but with Carter getting more passing work, it makes it so iffy or difficult to trust. And the same thing with Pearsall. We just haven't seen him be effective, and that's another game that I'd expect him to run a lot more. So of them, I'm still probably going to go Pierce, but I really don't like any of these, unfortunately. Pistachio, what's up? Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud. So I'm scared of Stroud completely. I'm off of him. There's no way I'm starting him in my mind. So I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence there. D-Man, Gadsden, or Pitts. Pretty sure I have Gadsden. Yeah, I have Gadsden higher. Pitts has moved up with the Cordero Hodge being out and Drake London officially being labeled as out as well. Makes it a little more difficult for me to trust those two as options. So, what's up, J Dabber? Need to Jefferson, Bucky, Judkins. Oh, I'm going to go with guys I know have actual jobs, and just Jefferson and Judkins. I like Bucky, but again, he's coming back from injury. They said they're already going to limit his touches, so I'm staying away from that the best I can. Tony, what's up? Michael Wilson and Judkins. It's going to be Wilson again. I know that MHA is back, but not trusting Judkins in this tough matchup. Especially with Sanders using more of Sampson to kind of be a shield for him. So, C Plank, Neal or Vidal? It's going to be Vidal. What's up, David? MHA or Myers today? I'm still going with Myers. Yep. It's not so much I'm worried about MHA's health because it was an appendectomy, which isn't a big deal. Just needed some time for it to heal up, and I'm just assuming he's going to be fine. But I like the matchup a lot more for Myers. Also, with Wilson coming into his own, I kind of struggle to see MHJ really taking a whole lot away from that. John Boy, yes, we still are going Wilson, even with MHJ. got Wilson, one Lincoln Mage. What are you doing here? I'm rolling them both because so far Brissett has yet to throw under 40 times a game. And so until that changes, I think the opportunities are still going to be there. I think it actually ends up hurting Greg Dortch the most. But it could, if it's not Dortch, it's going to be Wilson, which makes it horrible for me. I really am high on Wilson. I've loved the talent since he's been there. But I do understand that him and MHA being on the same field could cause issues. So I just roll them both out and hope that they do what they've been doing. MHA should be just fine in this game. I'm more worried about Wilson, but I can't not play him with how well he's been playing. So, all right, man. Jones, Judkins, or Neal. And PPR, it's still going to be Jones. I hate it, but young quarterback, you're coming in. That's going to be your short area target. It's between him and Hawkinson. It's actually why I moved Hawkinson up quite a bit. However, the comparison has been to Nick Mullins, which you don't love as an option. So I'm rolling that out for sure. I moved up Hawkinson from... So he was at 26, and I've moved him all the way to 15. Just because, again, with younger rookie quarterbacks, they like to go for the short area targets and then occasionally take a deep shot. So I moved him up, and I have Justin Jefferson also pretty high. So, all right, Pistachio, Baker, T-Law. Golly, I'm pretty sure I still have Trevor Lawrence higher. The injury for Baker makes me really nervous. Where do I have Lawrence? So I currently have Lawrence at 15, and I have Baker at 22, sorry, because of the injury. It makes me just a little bit too nervous, so can't bring myself to run that out. All right, Tony. Tet, Sutton, Wilson. Again, I'm still going to roll with Wilson. It's just too difficult to get away from with how well he's been playing. If you don't want to trust that, then Tet would be my next option. AW, Tua, or Shook. It's going to be Tua. Robert Holmes, what's up? Quentin Johnson or Charbonnet. Oh, my gosh. I hate how much they're using Walker, so I'm probably going to go with Quentin Johnston, but I really don't like either of these options. Just because it's PPR, I'd probably lean Johnston just a little bit. If it was anything else, I would probably end up going Charbonnet, but that struggle is just so real. I can't bring myself to really run that out and hope for the best. So, gonna go with it, unfortunately, because, yeah, it's absolutely terrifying. Let's see. Pistachio, Strange, or Schultz? Also flexing. I would not be flexing Jaden just because CJ is back, and that terrifies me for Higgins and Schultz. So because of that, I'm also running Strange. David, what is this attached to? I would be fine rolling out Mooney if you're worried about either Wilson or MHA because they rolled out Kadero Hodge. I think that actually helps Mooney and Pitts quite a bit. So, C Plank, Mooney, Franklin, Shakir. Guessing that's supposed to be pick 2. I'm going to go Mooney and Franklin. All good, X. Let's see. I'm using Pierce and leaving. Yep. I'm fine rolling Pierce. If you want to get like a minimum of 6, I'd go Neal, but it's still so risky. I don't love it as an option for a flex. I'd much rather go with somebody who has more boom bust potential. Part of the reason I kept bringing up Mechie or oh my gosh, now I can't think of his name because now he's active. Tinsley, I think it's the other one who's. Now I have to pull it up. Golly, it's the other Jets wide receiver. Give me a second. It is because Tyler Johnson's hurt. And they just ruled out Arian, or they said so. It'd probably be Adnai if you're looking for more upside. Him and Pierce are pretty similar, but the fact that Jones is dealing with an injury, I don't love. It makes me a little nervous for it. And also, this matchup isn't great. Texas have been really good against all players, really. Don't really trust Godwin with Baker dealing with the same kind of injury. And then Neal is, like I said, he's a safer play to get at least 6 points, but that's really in PPR, and that terrifies me. All right, Tony. Atlanta or Cleveland defense? It's the Browns. Can't get away from the Browns. Let's see. Dowdle or Gainwell. I'm going to go Dowdle just because, again, he should have the full work. And if the Panthers want to win this game, they really have to control the clock. And I think the best way of doing that is to run with Dowdle. There it goes. J. Dyer, Booty, MHJ, Pierce, Knight, DK. If you get any kind of return yards, I'd go DK. Otherwise, it's going to be MHJ. It's just too hard to get away from him. All right. Anthony, Fannin, Henry, Kincaid. I really like Kincaid if he goes, because he's been the number one target, but trusting that is difficult. So I completely understand if you don't want to roll that out. I'd probably end up going Fannin. I liked how the uptick kind of swung this past week. So next. DK is a lot safer than all those options. I think he's more likely to get you close to 9 as a floor, with the upside being probably closer to 20. Especially, like I said, if you get any kind of return yards. Ilmosity, Irving, or Vidal. I'm going to go Vidal. Just can't get away from him. This is a great matchup for him. I understand this should be his down game again, but hopefully it's not. With Omar and Hampton being sat for another week, gives me a little bit of hope. I am also nervous that they continue to have active other running backs. Henderson's going to be an option, as well as Patterson, which I really don't like. Tony, DK, Mechie. It's Mechie. Any kind of PPR, it's Mechie. Dude is going to continue to see targets. It seems to be the one who's actually catching them. That's an issue for Adonai Mitchell. But if you need the upside, DK would be the next one up. Ryan, start one. Allen, May. I'm probably going to go Allen just because I like May, but I don't have him higher than Allen right now, even with the weather. I don't. The weather isn't an issue because it's going to be snow. It's not as much wind. And so while I like May, that game always is so iffy. And then you just want one of those. I'm going to go Harvey. All right, RPSD. Let's see. Morning. Good morning. Invite. It's going to be dark. The reason I am going Bucky is because Shakir is just such a letdown every week. When it comes to him actually doing well, it's so difficult to predict. So golly. So on the year, Shakir has had half of his games be good and half of them be bad. He's either going above 11 fantasy points or below 5, which is not something you are looking for. He's had what? 3 games where he's had less than 7 fantasy points. Sorry, which is not an ideal situation. And then he's hit 20 once. So even on limited touches, I think he's a safer play. So that's why I'm iffy with Shakir, is that even though he's getting there, it's not been pretty. And in a game where I expect him to kind of struggle, I think Irving against an absolutely horrible Cardinals defense just makes it more simple. While Steelers have actually shown up on defense at times, so it makes it tough for me to trust that Shakir is going to get it done, especially if Kincaid's back. So, all right, let's see, Nibs. Michael Wilson, Carter. It's going to be Wilson still. And then Parker Washington. I'm still going to go Jennings here. I'm very curious to see how the target distribution works out for the Jaguars wide receivers. I still think BTJ is the odd man out just because he can't catch, and I think Trevor Lawrence is kind of tired of it. And then, again, I just kind of went over my issue with Shakir. So, Gadsden, Pitts, or Fannin. It's going to be... that's actually a good one. I have them all ranked pretty similarly, I think. So I have Gadsden at 6, Pitts at 16, and Fannin at 18. So they're all kind of in that weird spot. So you're definitely playing Gadsden. So, all right, Jacoby Myers or Jennings. It's probably going to be Jennings. Purdy, Stroud, Jones, start 1. Probably going to be Purdy. It's really close. Uh-oh. Am I still frozen? Ryan, it's going to be Harvey. Oh, jeez. Okay. Got good now. That works. Yeah, OBS is having some issues today. So, all right. Full PPR. It's going to be Vidal. Again, I like Igbuka. I don't like the matchup. I would actually play Wilson over Olave because, again, the back really scares me. Having a back issue is just a kiss of death because it could pop up because he lands wrong, because he's hit weird. I'd much rather play Wilson over Olave just to play it safe. Josh, Vidal, or Sutton? It's Vidal. Need an RB2, Dowdle, Bucky. It's going to be Dowdle. He's the only one guaranteed full work. And then Judkins, again, is struggling with the fact that Sampson's still the pass-catching back, and he's not getting any of that work. PPR, Marks or Neal? It's going to be Marks, and whoever you don't choose, you play them over. No, I'm probably going to still play Olave and Diggs there. Man, that is so frustrating. I'm sorry, guys. I want to do your nails. Again, it's going to be Cook to play it safe. If you want more upside, I'm fine rolling out Wilson. But it's just difficult to kind of get away from Wilson with how well he's been playing in PPR. But again, same thing with Cook. Cook has just been a beast. It's so difficult. And your issue is you have too many good players. So I really hate that for you. Congrats. Hopefully you end up going on to a championship and winning. Josh, Conrad, Fannin or Strange. It's going to be Strange. The news did have him drop just a little bit. So he's moved from my tight end 9 to 10. So, hey, what's up? Must win today. Need 2. Oh, golly. I really want to play Olave and Diggs. But like I've been saying, that back for Olave has me so nervous. So I'm going to go with McConkey. And yeah, I agree. I'm not playing Pittman today. I think this is a down stay, especially with Warren also dealing with a stomach bug. You don't like that either. Chargers or Patriots D. I'm going to go Chargers there. Don't know if you've watched the Raiders, but yikes. I know the Chargers also haven't been great, but they should be okay in this matchup. Falcons or Browns, defense with the weather. It's still going to be Browns. Phil, Theo, Johnson, or Strange. I still have Strange higher. Mikey. Tucker, Washington, Neal, or Hodgins. Choose one. Well, they just said that... Oh, Hodgins. That's what they said. No. If you get any kind of return yards, I'm going to go... Actually, I think either way, I'm going to go Malik Washington. Tucker is pretty close, but again, trusting that is difficult. Bucky or Gadsden for Daniel. It's going to be Gadsden. All right, Jose, I'll see if I can't find your picks again. Okay. So, it's going to be Wilson and Justin. There's a lot of risk with Justin Jefferson with the rookie, undrafted quarterback. Completely understand if you want to go to McMillan there. McMillan's also been playing very well, so completely understand rolling that as well. Farley, Bucky, or Neal. It's still going to be Bucky. I still think that he can get more points than 6 off of a handful of touches. Well, Neal, I think, is really capped, unfortunately. What's up, Farley? All right, Doc. Let's see. Baker, Tyrod. I still have Baker higher. Yeah, I know. That's part of the reason why he's been dealing with the injury. I still trust him more, unfortunately. He just has better weapons. It's difficult for you to get away from him, unfortunately. Gadsden or Kincaid? Oh my gosh. Assuming Kincaid plays. Do I even have him on here? Whoops, it's not popping up. If I could spell. Yeah, so assuming Kincaid plays, he moves up to my tight end 9. So he would be above Gadsden by 1 spot. So really it's going to be dependent. Okay, Clevis, Travion, or Quinchon. Oh my gosh. I think at that point, just because I'm not sure how they're going, I still think I'm going to go Henderson. I still think he's the one you want to roll out there. He keeps showing up, and while I like Quinchon, I think now he has become touchdown or bust. Tamara, what's up? Hubbard, Corum, golly, girl. At this point, I think I go. Let me double check to make sure. At that point, I am going to go Corum. Okay, good. Thanks for the heads up. All right. Bam Knight or Devin Neal? PPR, I'm probably going to go Devin, but golly, it's just because I know what he's going to get. I don't know what Knight is going to be. Too many other options. That team works so weird. Carter's the one getting the passing work. So I just don't know how much they're going to run, and that terrifies me for Knight. RPSD, Judkins or Tracy? I still think I go Judkins there, but again, just because I think he's more likely to score a touchdown. And like I said, with Dart back, it's been Singletary that has been the one he's trusted a little more in the backfield. So unfortunately, I think Singletary is going to end up beating out Tracy this week. And so I'm going to go with Judkins and then Igbuka or Wilson. Like I've been touching on, hate the matchup for Igbuka, and then Baker's also dealing with injury. Just terrifying to me. Still going to go Wilson and Justin. Conrad, Juwan, or Theo. It's still Juwan. Tamara, MHJ, or Jaden Higgins. I'm terrified of Higgins with CJ Stroud back. So I'm going to go MHJ. What? Pretty sure everything's connected pretty good. All right. You're welcome. All right. Bucky or Neil. Again, I think that really limits you. So I'm going to go with Bucky just because there's more potential upside. I think Neil's, like I said, continued to be limited. Then it's MHJ, Jennings, or Allen. It's going to be Jennings. Chaz got us a 2-3. It's going to be Wilson and Judkins. Unless it's PPR. PPR, I might go Neil because, again, I think him and Judkins at that point get similar enough scoring that I'd probably end up leaning Neil. Josh, Tyler Warren, Sick, or Theo Johnson. I think it's still Johnson higher, but let me double check. I have. Where is Warren? Nope, I lied. I still have Warren higher barely, by 2 spots. Wilson and Sutton, Trisha. It's still going to be Wilson. Tony, Wilson, Debo, Bucky, Judkins. It's going to be Wilson. Again, too much upside. If you wanted to go safe because you're a little nervous about it, I'd go Debo. With Surtain likely covering McLaurin, I think Debo gets some more open looks, and him actually having help is a big benefactor for it. Bucky or Judkins, I'm worried that's too similar. I would probably go Judkins, but I don't like either of those, unfortunately, this week. All right, yeah, boy. Let's see. Igbuka, Lad, Olave. I am very nervous about both. But I still, man, in half point, I think I still go Lad. It's really close with Ibuka with the injuries and the matchup. I'm just so nervous for Lad having the same issues that there's not going to be enough volume for him. This is a game that they should rely heavily on the run. So completely understand if you want to go Ibuka. If this was full PPR, it'd be Olave, but the half gives the yards more importance, which makes me lean Ibuka. Shazad, Ibuka, Collins, Jacoby. It's Myers. I'm not messing with anything else at this point, even in standard. I like Collins, but again, I don't. Stroud's really been struggling. He has to show me something before I'm willing to roll out Collins, even though Collins is just such a talent. So, John Rosenthal, let's see. 2, Dowdle, Woody, Marks, Gainwell, or Vidal. It's going to be Vidal and Dowdle. Again, going with volume, and I think that the Panthers, in order to win, have to control time of possession. Tamara, pick 2, Bucky, Harvey, Judkins. It's going to be Judkins and Harvey, but I don't like it. Just because, again, those two should be playing more. Irving being on a snap count is substantial, but doesn't scare me completely off of him. Josh, Jawan, or Theo? It's Jawan. Marv or Knight? I'm going MHJ. Jose, Olave, Mechie, or Brian Thomas? That's going to be Mechie. Again, love Olave, but I am so nervous with the injury. Backs are not something to mess with, and I'm just so nervous it just takes one bad hit, and he's going to be done for the day. Josh, Jawan, Theo, or Waller? Still going to be Jawan for me. Brian, Marks, or Shakir? Again, kind of depends on what you need. There's more upside for Shakir, but Marks is just a safer play. That's so weird. All of my ratings are showing that I'm good. It must be an issue with OBS. They've also been cutting in and out. That's really frustrating. Sorry. Warren or Neil? I'm going to go Warren. All right, Sergeant, let's see it. Daniel Eberhard, PPR, pick 1. Dowdle, Franklin, Shakir, Pierce, Mechie. It's going to be Mechie in PPR. I'm fine if you want to roll Dowdle, like I said. I still think there's more potential upside. But with how Mechie's been playing with Tyrod, I still think he's going to see enough targets in a game that they're, for some reason, going to continue to throw. So don't really have a whole lot of other options. Full PPR, oh my gosh. I'm going to go Chris because I know what his job is, and in PPR, he's more likely to see the targets. And then I think it's at this point that I go Olave. I am more scared of DK with Rodgers playing, and then QJ's just been so inconsistent. It's difficult for me to trust anything that he does, unfortunately. Let's see. I have moved. Yeah, I don't even see DK. That's how low he is for me. Yeah, I have him just outside of my top 36 at wide receiver. So, Dart or Brissett? I think Brissett, I think Brissett offers a safer floor. However, Dart's been playing so well, even with him coming back. It's so difficult to sit him. So, if you're looking for more upside, it's probably going to be Dart. Even in a tough matchup, he's been playing so well. I mean, the last time he just torched the Patriots. So, I'm Red Light. What's up? Start 2. Wilson, Collins, BTJ, Washington, Booty, Terry. It's going to be Wilson and probably Collins. Yeah. Not by a whole lot. Washington's barking at their heels. C-Flank, Shakir, Mooney, Franklin, Myers, pick 2. It's definitely going Myers and Mooney. With them, we're rolling out Hodge and London. I think that Mooney should see enough targets this week. Daniel, Debo, QJ, Stevenson, Tracy. I'm going to go Debo. All these other things scare me. Tony, Higgins, DK, Mechie. It's going to be Mechie and DK. Not messing with Higgins. Like I said, with CJ back, it's too nerve-wracking for me. I can't trust it. All right, Sparky. Start 2, Vidal, Marks, Tracy. It's going to be Vidal and Marks, and then McConkey or Shakir. I have McConkey higher. Again, this is a game that they should play well. I am a little nervous about Raiders potentially being able to throw now, and it's terrifying. So if that's the case, then McConkey gets an even bigger boost. Tamara, Darnold, or Mayfield? That's Darnold. Again, with the injury for Mayfield, I'm more hesitant to play him. And then Purdy, Lawrence, or Mariota. That's a good one. I think I have Purdy the highest. Nope, I have Trevor Lawrence the highest. Forgot he's playing Tennessee. So it's going to be Trevor Lawrence. Mikey, I'm terrified of Neal. So he's not being used as a full-time running back. He's being used as a passing downs back, and at that point, he's only seeing a handful of targets. The potential upside for him is that Olave is ruled out early due to injury. However, I do think Hill gets a majority of those touches, which makes it tough for me to trust him. And that's honestly how every time that they've had the option, Neal has always been just a pass-catching guy. So I just don't expect that to change. And so your floor is probably going to be, like I said, around 6, with the ceiling potentially being 11, which makes me super nervous, unless he scores a touchdown, which could happen. But even then, it goes, 13 to 18 points, which isn't massive enough for your team for you to be likely rolling him out. Zioli, Shaheed, Chubbard, Mahogginson, Adonai Mitchell, or Waller. I would play Hawkinson. And then if you want more upside, potentially Mitchell. Again, I want to see Waller. He hasn't been able to stay out there, so it's been kind of frustrating to trust that. Gus Batista, 2 questions, okay? Egbuka or Wilson. I'm still going to go with Wilson. And then 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. I would then go Olave and Jones. Yeah. If you're worried about Olave, I then go Sutton because it's close enough that I'm fine rolling that. But Zaoli, depending on what you call for deep, I still like Adonai Mitchell. He continues to see the targets. If they just end up connecting, that is a big boost. Still like DK a lot. Outside of that, the next option would be Josh Downs is probably another one who's pretty widely available that you could use. Pittman's going to struggle likely, and Tyler Warren being beat up really gives him a lot of hope. And then because, again, injury potential, Vele was the one who had the upside. I don't know if I really trust that, but the opportunity should be there for him if Olave ends up being out or getting hit wrong. But, again, what are you really trusting? And then another name that I'm kind of watching is Isaiah Bond. Because of how Shadur plays, Bond's been getting some screens, and he's super talented when he gets ball on space. So, been massive for him. All right, Doormat. 49ers or Dolphins? I think I still have the 49ers. All right, we'll double check. Yeah, I have the Dolphins, or 49ers by 2 spots. So, not too shocking, unfortunately. Doc, point per first down. Nice. Pierce or Waddle? It's going to be Waddle. Josh, Bucky, or Sutton? I'm going to go Sutton. Again, kind of touch on the limited touches. Makes me a little more nervous for Bucky. Joseph, pick 2, PPR, BTJ, Allen, Godwin, Pierce, McLaurin, Etienne. It's definitely going to be Etienne. And then I think I go probably Pierce. Yeah, I'm terrified of all those other options, unfortunately. Jose, Justin, PPR 2, Jefferson, Bowers, Mechie. Oh, my gosh. I think I'm going to go Wilson and Bowers there. Golly, that's close. Actually, let me pull my flex to make sure. It is. Definitely Wilson. And then where the heck is Mechie's at 55, Egbuka 38, Bowers. I have. Yeah, it's going to be Bowers and Wilson barely. Egbuka is still right in that same range. But so if you want to get away from it, completely understand doing that as well. Daniel, pick one. Wilson, Franklin, Myers, McLaurin, Booty. It's just so difficult to sit Wilson. If you want to do that, then I'm probably going to go with Myers as my backup. Completely understand being scared of Wilson, but like I said, Brissett throwing 40-plus times make it difficult for me to get away from the top 3 players on that team. Who they are, though, is the question for this week. Running backs. Dowdle or Etienne? I still have Etienne higher because it's Tennessee. Michael, would you go Vidal or Neal? It's definitely going to be Vidal. The pastor, Ted, Ladd, or Diggs. I'm guessing that's supposed to be Tet. I'm still going to go Tet, barely. I have Ladd right behind him, but it's still have Tet one spot higher than Ladd. Daniel, with him being sick, I'm more nervous on him, so I dropped him a little bit, which put Juwan ahead of him. Joseph, Warren, or Gadsden? Gadsden, again, dealing with the injury, or dealing with the illness you don't like to see. What's up, Anthony? Standard scoring. Warren or Schultz? Because CJ's back, I'm going to go Warren. Also, now that Olave, defenses, I think I have Dolphins higher than Falcons. Just kidding. I have the Falcons by one spot. So still close, but not close enough. So literal coin flip for me. I'm fine if you want to go Miami or the Falcons because they're both top 12 at the defensive position for me. The Bug. PPR 1 Superflex 1. So yeah, I'm picking 3. It's going to be Purdy, Juwan, and Franklin barely. Strange is just ahead of or just behind Franklin. So Tony, Stranger Fannin is still going to be Strange. C Plank, Vidal, Neal, Myers, Mooney, half PPR. I think at that point I'm going to go Vidal because, again, you want the yards more, which I think Vidal against the Raiders will give you. It's really close with Myers, though. Wilson, Franklin, Mechie. Depends on what you need. It's so hard to get away from Wilson. But if you want to play Mechie, completely understand. Targets are there. I just think his upside's really capped because he's not as talented as Michael Wilson has shown to be so far this year. Daniel, if Nick's supposed to have a good game, why does everyone seem... I don't have Nick as having a good game, but I do have Franklin higher than a majority of people. I have Nick's at... He's my quarterback 18. So he's a flex or a super flex quarterback, but I don't have nearly as high as everybody else. And then that is part of why I brought down Sutton and Franklin. Because while Franklin's been the one seeing targets, him and Sutton are going back to back, and I'm guessing that Franklin just sees more targets, which gives him a bigger gives him the nose, just barely taking him ahead. So All right. Seoli, one running back, one flex, and half. Tracy, Gainwell, Wandale. It's going to be Robinson and Gainwell. And then Jones or Dart. It's Dart. Okay, State grad, Dowdle or Sharp. It's still Dowdle. And yes, Wilson. Yes. I think Wilson actually ends up hurting Adonai, if anybody. I think Mechie, they've seen what Mechie can do, and I don't think that affects him nearly as much. So, sorry. When you brought up Wilson, I was like, no, Wilson's playing over both of these, but yeah. Okay, that makes more sense, yeah. Still going to go with Mechie. And I would add C-Rod, but it really depends on who you have to drop to add Chris Rodriguez. Because he does have tough matchups, but if he is going to remain the wide receiver or the running back one, you still want somebody like that on your team. So, Benson, standard scoring, 619. What's up? That's San Diego. All right, Myers, Pittman, or Tracy? Myers. Again, Pittman scares me this week. Don't love the matchup for him. Pistachio, Debo, or Godwin. It's going to be Debo. Again, have to see something from Godwin before I start trusting him. Also, too many injuries. It's scaring me. Okay, State grad, Wandale or Myers? Oh, my gosh. That's actually probably close. I have... hate when I unselect it. Myers or Robinson. I have Robinson 3 spots higher. So, it's going to be Robinson, just barely. Trav Wade, Warren, or Gadsden? Gadsden. I completely agree. I am nervous about Warren. Also, matchup isn't super. So, go Gadsden. Then Henry, Fannin, or Theo. That's a good one. I think it's Theo, but it's Theo by 1 spot. Back to back, Henry. D. Howe, Sutton, or McConkey? I'm pretty sure it's McConkey, but again, it's not something I'm super confident in. Yeah, I have McConkey pretty high. I have Sutton at 34 and McConkey at 16. So, big difference there. You're welcome, OK State. Standard scoring, Wandale or Wilson? Oh, my gosh. That's another close one. So, he's at 14. Where is... Nope. I still have Wilson just a couple spots ahead. So, that's a close one. But... Oh, it's standard. No, it's still Wilson, and that actually brings Wandale down a bit. All right, Daniel. Flex 1. Dowdle, Franklin, Mechie. Yeah. And PPR, I probably... It's close. It's close between him and Mechie. I'm fine playing Dowdle, but the similarities between those two is just so iffy. I think Dowdle gets a benefit of him being used as the running back, and so him seeing additional touches is always a benefit. So I agree. You probably have to lean Dowdle there. It depends on what you mean by okay start. I would not be starting him at running back if I didn't have to. In PPR, he's probably, like you said, an okay start. I have him ranked similarly to, for example, players like Dylan Sampson and Sean Tucker, Rashad White. Like, Tucker is ahead of White. And Chris Rodriguez is also in that same kind of vein. It's all just so iffy that I don't really like it a whole lot. So I'd prefer a lot of other players ahead of them, but fortunately, that's where we are. Mikey, Higgins, Pierce, Washington, Tucker. Okay, so with this, it depends on if you get return yards. If you get return yards, it's Washington. Otherwise, I'm probably going to go with Pierce. And Frank Rod, Bucky, Charbonnet, or Neal. If it's PPR, I'm going. Nope. I still think I have to go Irving. With how much I've been using Walker, it really has scared me away from Charbonnet. Ty, happy week 13. Half. Yes, I love Monangai rest of the season. Continue to bring it up. He's been one of the ones to score. I'd prefer him over Walker. And then I have to see what Benson does. So, and then part 2 with Mike, drop Watson for him. So, I mean, at this point, I'm fine just holding on to Watson. He's been playing very well, and so it's just difficult for me to trust somebody coming back from injury and having success their first week, especially if Baker is more hurt than he's letting on. So, Henry, MHA, Michael Wilson, or Mooney. I'm going to go Wilson and Mooney, but I'm also fine rolling out both Cardinals. Okay, Stigright, this is really dependent on what you're hanging on to him for. If there's other options out there that I like more, I'd probably roll with them, but it's really dependent on what's available. Crazy Kids TV, love it. Bucky, Walker, Waddle, MHJ, start 2. It's going to be MHJ and Waddle. Benson, Tet, MHJ, or McLaurin. I still think I lean Tet. It's close with MHJ, but again, I have to see it. Yeah, I figured that was the Higgins you were talking about. I'm scared of Higgins now with CJ back. I have to see it again because CJ has not been nearly as good as Davis Mills because Mills has been getting rid of the ball. We kind of talked about it on Monday's game. Or on Wednesday's show. Sorry, not Monday's game. So, oops. I think they bring Daniels back soon? It really will be dependent on how they play. So, they're not going to put him out there unless he's 100%. And it's iffy at best. So, that's part of the reason I wasn't 100% thinking it was worth it to hold on to him. Hunter, DTJ, Warren, or Tracy. It's going to be Warren. Only thing I trust out of that group. Max Jacobs, Gadsden, Vidal, or Knight is Vidal. Whoops. Golly. Sorry. Vidal, Walker, or Buka, it's going to be Vidal. Where is Dart ranked on your board? I have Dart as my QB. QB 7. I have him and Brissett right next to each other. So. Then Tony, Chargers or Browns. I still have Browns higher. DJ, please. What's up? How's it going? Who do I flex? PPR, McMillan, or Sutton? I'm still trusting Tet more. Well, golly. Guys are asking questions just the right time when I'm trying to click on Henderson or Harvey. Ooh, that's good. I think it's Henderson. It's Henderson. Do you like Waddle or Ladd better? Waddle, because he's the number 1 target on a team that's who they focus on. I like the idea of Ladd, but with the Chargers not having a tackle right now, I know they're trying out Salyer as the tackle this week, but again, trusting that is so iffy. I know they got Penning, which will be great for next year, but he is not a tackle. And so they aren't giving Herbert enough time to throw, and it's showing. And so that's part of the reason you're seeing Gadsden and Vidal and what will eventually be Omar and Hampton getting a massive uptick in their usage and of targets because he needs to get the ball out quick. Bucky or Neal? I'm still going to go Irving because there's more upside. If you just want 6+ fantasy points, Neal. Drop Pearsall for Mechie. Yes, I would do that. Mostly because the matchups for the 49ers aren't great, and Mechie's going to see volume almost no matter what. And now that he will be the wide receiver too with Wilson coming back, I think the opportunities are just too big for me, especially with Tyrod under center. Benson. Ugh. At that point, I think I go Daniel just because I've seen more of it and trust it a little more. But yeah, that all is not what you want. Will Rich, Guillotine, have Jade Taylor in my flex. Should I be considering Judkins, McConkey, Collins, Waddle? I might go Waddle over him, but I still think I trust Taylor the most of those options. Iggy, Olave, Henderson, or Kyron? I have to sit one. I'm sitting Olave. Frank Rod, pick 2. Jones, Tracy, DK, Neal, Mechie. I'm going to go Mechie and DK. Traded Burrow and Dart. Burrow and Ladd for Waddle and Mayfield. Yeah, that's fine. Burrow's going to be just fine. It's better when he has a full allotment of targets. So, I know this week wasn't ideal, but it was a tough matchup. It was kind of the game we expected. He just ended up scoring more than we expected with the running back. So, and defense. Also not things we expect week in and week out. Well, Rich, Etienne, Jetkins, Addison, or Godwin? I'm going to go Etienne. DJ, please. Yes, I would drop Judy for Mechie. Again, Judy's been okay, but with Shadir, I'm not quite sure if I trust it a whole lot. Have to see more of it. And Mechie, I've seen him play in the past and be fine. But him getting leukemia really set him back. And now with the opportunity ahead of him, I am trusting Mechie more. I'm pretty sure he was picked in the second round and was planning to be one of the best players on the Texans. With Collins and Ladd being there, the opportunities were going to be so solid for him. But now he's on a team where he should be the wide receiver too. I'm very curious to see how him and Wilson work together, but I think the opportunities are definitely going to be there. It might actually make Tyrod a potential streaming option moving forward, but until I see it, I can't trust that. What's up, Trader Joe? Booker, Marvinson, Harrison Jr. I still have Igbuka higher of these two, but it is close. So if you want more upside, I'd probably go MHJ just because I trust it a little more. Strouder, Danny Dimes. It's going to be Jones, barely. Should I trust MH? So, again, I think the answer is yes because I think it actually hurts Dortch. I think Wilson and MHJ become the 2 wide receivers and McBride. But the big plus is the fact that Brissett has to continue to throw 40-plus times, and I just don't think that they're able to get away from that, especially without Benson there. So while that doesn't change, I still think MHA is going to be just fine. I'm just very curious to see if they continue to go to him. So would I drop Mariota for Sanders? Probably not. Sanders is getting lucky. I don't think this is a great matchup for him. So if he does better than, I'm going to say 18 fantasy points, it's going to be a win for me. I'd be willing to do it at that point only. Okay, say great. Yes, I'm fine doing this. Mostly because the rest of the way for the 49ers isn't super for their matchups. And while Pearsall seems to have something, there's too many other mouths, unfortunately. Mechie's going to be likely the 2 moving forward. Benson, Jawan Johnson, and Fannin. It's going to be Jawan still. Will Rich, need 1. Adams, Hall. There's no way you're sitting Adams. Hall's right there, but no. That's good. I'm still going to go Mechie. In any kind of PPR, it's Mechie, and maybe a standard go Slayton for yardage, but him and Dart are just, it's iffy. I don't trust it nearly as much. All right, if I've answered your question, please make sure to come back and yell at me if I did it right or wrong. I'm trying to get videos boosted, and the best way to do that is any kind of comments or likes after the video is posted, which will be at noon when the stream ends. So, I'm assuming from this one. If it's from this one, it'd then be Adams and Hall. So, hopefully that helps. The gang's all here. Judkins, Irving, or Tracy. Golly. It's probably Judkins, but it's really close with Irving. Even with the limited touches, I'm just so nervous for Judkins. This is not an ideal matchup. They aren't using him in the passing game. So, you're welcome. Hope it helps. Good luck for sure. That's all I want for you guys is best of luck. I really hope that any kind of insight I'm able to give is right on par with the expectations. I'm trying to do the best, give you the best information I have, up to date as can be. But I also understand that can't always be right. Game scripts are going to change. Injuries are going to happen. It's extremely frustrating. So, Polo, why are you yelling at me? No, I'm kidding. It's Donald. The back had me nervous already. So, well, that's not fair. Not the back. The injury for Baker has me nervous, and the matchup hasn't been great. I already had Baker outside of my top 12 before the injury news came out. But the fact that he's playing, I moved him to 22, while Darnold is still at quarterback 5 for me. You're welcome. Hopefully it helps. Fabian, Barner, Arton. Still going to be, start 3. Okay, I'm going to sit Barner and Bonner and Theo. Sorry. Juan Pena. So I'm picking 3 here. Wide receivers, it's going to be, oh my gosh, Myers and Debo. And then your flex, I am probably going to go with Henderson. Yep. You're welcome. Good luck. All good. Keep trying. All right. Yeah, I got you. You're good. I got that in. You're set. Baker and Mariota. That's a good one. I have... Where the heck is Mariota? I have Baker higher than Mariota. Not a great matchup for Mariota. Will Rich, Washington, in Washington. Oh, my gosh. It's going to be Parker, Marks, and Mooney. It's Darnold, and then Dowdle. I'm fine if you want to go with Franklin, but PPR helps him a little bit. He's just been kind of dropping balls lately. So Jags or Falcons defense. So I think that's a good one. I think it's a Nope. Yes, it's the Jaguars. Have 5 spots ahead. All right. Everybody, good luck. Thank you so much for watching. Please come back and like and subscribe. Comment if I did right or wrong. Let me know. Let me hear it. I want to know. If you have any suggestions, also comment. Completely fine taking that and trying to adjust moving forward. But really appreciate you all. Have a good week 13. Good luck. And remember, as always, to keep up the nonsense. I'm out. Good luck. And yeah, have a good one, guys and gals.